Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First, the names of the 5 children killed in the Devonport school tragedy have been released. Tonight, a heartbroken community is rallying around their families. One of the injured children has been released from hospital, but 3 are still fighting for life after that schoolyard celebration went so horribly wrong. Well, police have released the names of the 5 victims of the Hillcrest Jumping Castle tragedy. Zane Mellor, Addison Stewart, Jai Sheehan, Peter Dott and Jalila Jane Marie Jones were killed in yesterday's end-of-year event. 3 children remain in a critical condition in hospital. The Premier has flagged a mask mandate for indoor settings, potentially from next week. The decision could help Tasmania's borders stay open in the event of a COVID outbreak, with 2 new COVID cases recorded overnight.
Tasmania's newest luxury hotel is now open for business. The pandemic no deterrent for its operators.
The short-term blip of restrictions coming in and going, we all have to deal with, keeping health and safety as the priority right now.
Soon, those restrictions could include mask wearing in some indoor venues. The Premier strongly considering a mandate following Queensland's lead.
It'll ensure that we can keep our borders open, that we can slow the spread of any transmission, and importantly, we can allow people to go about their daily lives.
It comes as 2 more COVID cases were recorded from Newcastle overnight, arriving on Virgin flight VA 1328 from Melbourne and Sydney flight QF 1533 on Wednesday.
They got tested, they had very little interaction with the community, and so I trust that as a result of that, these people will be safely managed without establishing community transmission.
Public Health is now urging anyone arriving from Newcastle since December 12 to get tested. Meanwhile, the situation continues to worsen interstate. Victoria recording 1,500 infections in the past 24 hours, and New South Wales numbers jumping a further 2,200 today. But the Premier says that's no reason to panic.
Now, in terms of Omicron, what we're seeing is that whilst it does spread and case numbers will rise, at the moment, the evidence that we're seeing is that it doesn't lead to serious hospitalisation.
Peter Gutwin also not concerned by the West Australian Premier's decision to lock out Tasmanians this week.
Well, mind you, he's had very much a hair trigger on in terms of his borders. I think that we are in much better shape in terms of the social cohesion and our community, in terms of being able to bring families back together than what WA will be over this Christmas.
91.3% of Tasmanians are now fully vaccinated, and in a bid to boost those numbers even higher, extra super clinics will run in Hobart, Launceston and Devonport on Saturday. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
A Risdon Vale woman has had her jail sentence drastically shortened following her successful appeal to downgrade her murder conviction. Margaret Ann Otto has served nearly 4.5 years out of 15 in relation to the shooting of her husband, Dwayne Doc Davies, at Elderslie in 2017. Yesterday, her guilty verdict of murder was changed to accessory after the fact. 3 judges today resentenced her to 6 years prison with a non-parole period of 3 years, backdated to May 2017. That period has ended, meaning she's eligible for parole. Mr Davies' killer and former friend Bradley Scott Purkis is currently serving a 25-year prison sentence. A man charged with the attempted murder of his Moona housemate has pleaded not guilty in the Hobart Magistrates Court. Sean Grant Gleeson is accused of stabbing the 26-year-old on Main Road in Moona just after midnight on November 5. The 51-year-old has been remanded in custody to reappear in February. Hobart residents can ride through the city in style with more than 500 e-scooters available to hire.
It's really easy. It's download the mobile app from the App Store or Google Play Store, download it and then you're ready to go. And it's $1 to unlock and 45 cents a minute.
Across Australia, we see scooters helping to connect people to public transport. We see them connecting people to local businesses, reducing car congestion and getting people off the streets. And there's a number of benefits that I think we'll see across Hobart.
Both companies are operating a 12-month trial with plans to expand the service to Launceston. Kitten season has boomed, with a Tasmanian rescue centre currently receiving more than 50 cats a week. But as calls for adoption grow, animal authorities are reminding locals to keep their pets safe during the busy festive period.
At just 7 weeks old, these little felines are certainly feisty, keeping 10 Lives Cat Centre workers run off their feet.
This is an incredibly busy time of the year for 10 Lives. Since October, we've had over 400 cats and kittens come into our care, and at the moment we've got well over 200 cats.
Now calling for more people to adopt or foster, but it's not just the younger ones who need a home.
Sometimes at this time of the year, the older cats get overlooked a bit, but they're a great option because you can see their personality, you can spend time, you know exactly what you're getting.
However, authorities remind anyone gifting a pet for Christmas to remember they're not just presents.
Pets are for life. They're not a Christmas present generally, for a whole range of reasons. You want to make sure that this is a decision that the family that are taking the pet in have made in a considered way.
Also saying those who already live with a furry friend should keep a close watch during the festive season.
Dogs will knock down a tree, but they probably won't do it as often as a cat. They will eat the tinsel. They get caught up inside their intestines, and spending a night in an emergency vet at Christmas is not what anybody wants to do.
And to not be tempted to feed treats, such as fruitcake and fatty foods from the Christmas dinner table.
Because some of the foods that we really love at Christmas are really bad for our pets. It's just a matter of taking the time to be sure that you know where they are and what they're doing to make sure that we all have a happy and safe Christmas.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
With warm and windy weather on the way, there's a 24-hour embargo on all fire permits. The stoppage will apply to all permits from 8 p.m. and remain in place for 24 hours. No new permits will be issued by the fire service during this time, and any burns scheduled cannot go ahead. Permitted fires from the past week need to be fully extinguished before 8 tonight where possible. Tasmanian children can learn to swim from the very best this summer, with Olympic medalist Jeff Hugel running a 5-day workshop in Launceston and Hobart.
Just basically giving these young kids the tools to be able to hopefully take their swimming to the next level, and these are things that they can apply to all aspects of life.
The program is available for kids aged 9 and above and starts on January 10. The Federal Environment Minister has visited Hobart's Cadbury factory to see recycled plastic packaging in action. Trials have begun at the Claremont facility with a mission to purchase enough recycled packaging to wrap 50 million chocolate blocks. Minister Susan Lee also announcing a National Plastics Design Summit in Canberra in February, saying the focus will be on designing reusable, recyclable or compostable plastic products in everyday application. Well, revellers can travel home safely this New Year's Eve via the Metro Night Rider bus, with an extra 76 services departing from Elizabeth and Franklin Streets in Hobart and 30 from the Launceston City interchange.
So it's enabling people to catch a bus for $2 cash on any of our services after 6 p.m. on New Year's Eve from both Hobart, Launceston and Burnie.
The annual partnership between Metro Tasmania and the Road Safety Advisory Council is now in its 12th year.
The Hurricanes are relieved they don't need to make the long trip to Perth after Monday's Scorchers clash was moved to Hobart. The Hurricanes will be desperate to stop Mitch Marsh from going on another rampage like he did on Tuesday.
You just got to execute perfectly at the moment and then cross your fingers, cross your toes and hope that he hits one up in the air. There were little parts the other night that could have gone our way.
It's good sleeping in your own bed. That's probably a big start for us, especially after the way it's been the last 18 months. And the Scorchers will spend some time on the road now, but they're a quality outfit wherever they play, so we'll have to be at our best to beat them.
The Hurricanes will be without Joel Paris, who limped off with a groin injury in the last game. Tasmania's women's cricket team has begun its one-day cup season with a loss. Heather Graham took 3 wickets for the Tigers against Queensland, which set a target of 266. Tasmania pinned its hopes on Nicola Carey, who whacked 74 runs, but the Tigers were bowled out for just 199, 66 runs short. The two sides face off again in Hobart on Sunday. Trainer Jason Thompson has claimed his second Hobart 1000 title in 3 years. The Victorian's greyhound Aussie Secret burst out of box 1 and was never bettered, cruising to a clear win in the Group 1 feature overnight.
Aussie Secret from Ferdinand Boy. Aussie Secret still in front end. Aussie Secret do it.
Aussie Secret has 33 wins from 63 career starts. And it's Friday flashback time, and with the Ashes test underway in Adelaide, we're winding back the clock 15 years to a classic, simply described as amazing. Mowbray's Ricky Ponting looked his players in the eye in the Adelaide test in 2006, inspiring a performance which left no doubt the Ashes would return to Aussie hands.
And the Ashes are back in England's hands.
September 12, 2005, the day Australian cricket hit rock bottom. England had reclaimed the Ashes after 16 years in the wilderness.
Not a bit bad yet, behind these glasses tells 1,000 stories.
As blind as a welder's dog, but Freddie Flintoff's Ashes hangover really hit in early December the next year. Despite a superb start by the English batsman, Australia managed to stay in the contest, thanks to a stirring 142 from Ponting.
Wonderful effort, 33 test hundreds, a record for an Australian batsman.
Both teams passed 500 in the first innings, and with England having 9 wickets in hand going into the final day, a draw seemed almost inevitable. But then wickets started to tumble.
Oh, and he's got him, it's a run out.
Shane Warne bowled Kevin Peterson around the legs, and the belief started to become real.
Oh, yes! What a cricketer! What a match winner!
The magic continued from the king of spin. Glenn McGrath cleaned up the tail end, and the door was open for an unthinkable victory.
Goes, bangs, one day game, that's 4.
Needing 168 to win from 36 overs, the Aussies lost Langer and Hayden. Ponting showed class.
That is a magnificent shot again from Ponting.
But the race to the target was tense. Enter Mike Hussey. Ice pumped through his veins to reach the perceivably mythical target. Who can forget those winning runs?
There it is, wonderful victory, wonderful innings. There goes Michael Hussey. Listen to the crowd.
The skipper vindicated, the British press venomous.
Holders of urn exposed as imposters.
Now cricket over the last 3 days has been, as good as Test match cricket as you'll ever see from any team.
In the postscript, both McGrath and Warne would retire soon after the famous test.
Sit back and have a few quiet beers and a couple of smokes.
Warne described Adelaide as the best test match he'd ever played in, and it's hard to argue with that. And one of the best I watched on TV, Kim.
Okay, nice work. Thanks, Tom.
Good evening, everyone. 24 degrees in Launceston today, Hobart 21, and Burnie and Devonport both 19. Across the state, 26 in Ouse, St Helens and Grove 23, 22 on the islands and in Strawn, Lyowini 20 and 19 in Low Head. High-level cloud can be seen increasing over the state today, and across Australia a large cloud band can be seen approaching Tasmania from the west, with patchy cloud about the southwest of Western Australia and along the New South Wales coast. Tomorrow's chart shows a cold front weakening as it crosses Tasmania. A trough extends from northwestern Australia down to the southwest, while another cold front brushes southern Western Australia. Northwest to northeasterly winds 15 to 25 knots tomorrow, reaching up to 30 knots about the west and east, then shifting westerly during the late morning and reaching up to 35 knots in the south. And there is a gale warning in place for the southeast coast and southwest coast. A strong wind warning is current for St Helens Point to Wineglass Bay and from Sandy Cape to Stanley, including southeast inshore waters and the lakes. Windy and 30 degrees in Hobart tomorrow, 28 in Maydena and Oatlands with possible early showers. 29 in Launceston, Devonport reaching 25 with possible showers, Lyowini 21. Burnie and Strawn both 25 tomorrow, Marrawar an early shower and 21. And in the east, 28 in St Helens, Swansea a top of 29 and Orford 30 with a morning shower. And the UV tomorrow is extreme across the state, so ensure to keep sun smart. Looking on to Sunday, showers extending statewide in the morning, easing in the evening. Showers on Monday, mainly about the west and far south. And on Tuesday, showers about the west and far south, otherwise fine elsewhere. 28 in Adelaide tomorrow, Melbourne 33, mostly sunny in Melbourne and Cairns, and 42 in Alice Springs. And currently Hobart cloudy and 19, 20 and partly cloudy in Launceston, and Devonport 17 degrees and mostly cloudy. And that's Friday night's weather, Kim.
Okay, thanks, Chills. Have a great weekend. And that is all your news for now. Join Louise and the team over the weekend. For now, good night.